Hey folks, how you doing? Chief is Glenn here for another episode of Tailboard Talks. It's actually June 15th, 2025, and this is a special Father's Day edition. So we want to just make sure we wish all our amazing fathers a happy Father's Day, and hopefully your day, your Sunday has just been amazing. Hopefully you've been showered with love for all the many sacrifices and things that you do on a daily basis. With that being said, once again, happy Father's Day. But let's jump in to this episode of Tailboard Talks and let's talk through. We know on tomorrow we actually have City Council. We'll be at 4:30 at City Council chambers. There's two items that specifically deal with the fire department and emergency management. First one will be item 3.7, which is going to be that of a RFP that went out for a THERA, which is actually a threat hazard analysis, and we have a grant for that. Actually, the selection process has taken place from that particular RFP committee, so we'll kind of work through those changes. The other thing is actually going to be item 7.10, which is actually a grant that we submitted for, or actually award that we got for opioid settlements. And so that opioid settlement is going to be something that hopefully can move us forward with the plan that we submitted. So in our plan, we actually submitted for some hazmat suits as well as for some video laryngoscopes. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to get this grant with our particular plan, and so that will actually change the landscape of our area, both on hazmat and also on medical, which is drawn into opioids and how that actually affects our community in so many different ways. And those particular items are needed obviously for opioid that lead to respiratory arrest, and also on the other side of testing and managing fentanyl at large quantities. We need those Class A suits. So that'll be on City Council tomorrow. The other thing I want to kind of bring your attention to is actually going to be that of the engineers closeout test. So those that actually will be testing for engineer, I want to make sure I give a disclaimer here. It is your responsibility to read the document that was sent out by admin. Make sure you understand that. I'm just going to give a little reminder, and if this reminder is not accurate to what's on that document, it's on you, bruh. So please don't quote what's said on here on this particular Tailboard Talk. So it actually says in there that, of course, obviously you want to have your letter of intent, cover letter, as well as your resume submitted to Beth McDonald no later than 3 p.m. on June 20th. So make sure you have that done, but please make sure you read that letter first. Another thing I just want to throw out there to you, and this is the whole lead into that, is that, you know, that cover letter and your resume and all those things, those aren't graded. Those aren't things that per your CBA are part of your promotional process. However, it is a reflection of yourself. It's a reflection of your crew and as well as your officer. So I would actually take some time to actually make sure that I'm using one of our 4 Ps, and actually when I do this, I'm promoting excellence in who I am as an individual in going for a promoted position, and put a little time, a little energy into my cover letter, put a little time, energy into my resume, because I'm trying to become, right, a professional, right? I'm trying to actually get promoted into a higher ranked position within a professional organization. Put a little time in that. Make sure that your resume cover letter actually reflects who you are as an individual, as well as your crew, as well as actually your officers, as well as even your whole shift, man. Because obviously when we read that, we know what shift and what station and we know who you're under, and say, man, why don't they take 2 seconds to go find out from their officer or whoever it might be how they should actually submit this. All right, so submit something that is actually a good representation, a good reflection of yourself. And that's enough rant on that. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about is actually going to be that of Juneteenth. We actually have our Juneteenth celebration in the city of Fort Myers that will take place on June 21st. However, we know, just as a little side note, it is a federal holiday, so administration will be out on June 19th, as well as you'll see some holiday pay on your particular check. So that's a little side point. But what the whole point is about this whole conversation about Juneteenth is that this will be the first time in the city of Fort Myers that we have a Juneteenth program to this magnitude. There's been many of Juneteenth celebrations that have taken place at Clemente Park and some other different areas, but this will be the first time that there's a large gathering that will be taking place at the Stars Complex, along with fireworks that will be shot off from Southward Village. And this particular Juneteenth ceremony is actually a lot longer, so it actually go from the middle of the day all the way up to roughly about 9:30. So we'll need an engine for the fireworks. We'll We'll need both, cart 10 and cart 11 for medical. Of course, we'll have a EAP that comes out from emergency management here shortly. So this is something that we don't have anything to draw from. It's not like we can say we expect this at this Juneteenth celebration because we've never seen it before. There's no roadmap, there's no blueprint. This is something that we're gonna have a lot of assumptions, anticipation, and preparations for. So please go along with it. When that EAP actually comes out, please make sure you actually pour into it, read it, especially if you're gonna be on shift that day, and especially if you're going to be on one of those carts and or engine, right? Everybody should actually make sure they look at that. So guys, just kind of stay tuned to that, and just also remember that July 4th is right around the corner. So another day that we'll actually have a large gathering, possibly in our downtown corridor, as well as fireworks. So we also just want to say we're looking forward to the members of our hazmat team that went up to Baltimore for the hazmat conference. They said the conference was amazing. We're looking for them to come back actually with some good information to help grow our team, our department, and of course our whole region. So we look forward to that. Some of the things that I also want to kind of keep in mind is that IUPAT is actually in full swing as far as the negotiations. I believe they're also looking for the compensation study to come out before they move forward with some of those pay and benefits, but just kind of stand by with that. The other thing is also we will be doing some administrative realignments upstairs to actually make things a little more streamlined, a little more processed, and to be able to be prepared for, as we say, that 5 to 10 year drop off that we know we have coming within our organization, where a lot of our captains all the way up will be gone from our organization. So we want to start preparing the whole department for that. Of course, obviously we know we'll have two choices: either prepare or hire from outside. Those could be our two choices. So we want to make sure that we actually do that, and or lower the standards completely. So we don't want to do that. So those would be our two choices. The other thing is that summertime is in full swing, and I do apologize for any shadows in this particular video. I'm actually sitting underneath a tree in the shade because it is so hot out here. I want to make sure that each and every one of us are mindful of that. Please make sure you hydrate. Please make sure you're considerate of getting good sleep. Make sure you're also considerate of what type of energy or caffeine and all these other things that actually could make you more dehydrated. Please just make sure you're being mindful of that, caution that, and even working with your peer fitness trainers to make sure that you're not overexerting yourself with your workouts, just in case we get a working job shortly after. Okay, guys, appreciate all that you guys do. Continue to be humble, continue to be hungry, continue to keep your hustle up, and all that you do in preserving life, protecting property, and preventing harm. And of course, obviously, we want to make sure you're promoting excellence. All right, guys, appreciate you. I care about you. I care about the community. I care about the city. You guys have an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Bye now.